Hello everybody. In this video, we're going to program a simulation of the NBA Finals. All right, let's get going. In the last code we wrote, we had some great practice with returns, and we got to see how parameters would combine with ifs and elses to run different parts of our code. This is a super important concept on the APCSP create task. Super important. You'll need to have something like this in your APCSP create task. On this next assignment, we're going to write a simple simulation of the NBA Finals. And once again, these will be concepts that show up in a lot of APCSP create tasks. For the APCSP create task, you are not allowed to reuse codes that you already wrote. But with that said, if you wanted to simulate the MLB or NHL, those codes are very similar to this one. All right, so let's do it. Here is the starter code for the NBA Finals lab. Since you've done this kind of thing before, I'm going to zoom through it really quick. Link is in the description below. So let's start on the lab. First, I'm going to get this stuff out of the way. And step 1, create a function game. So hopefully by now this will almost be automatic. It'll be def function name parentheses colon. So def function name is game parentheses colon. And I'm done with that little bit. This function has one parameter that represents the percentage chance that team 1 wins a game against team 2. So parameters are going to go inside the parentheses. So remember, parameters do two things. They get information from the outside world, and after that, they're just variables. So I want to be sure to give this a good variable name. So given that it's a percentage chance that team 1 wins, I'm going to call it team 1 win percentage. So let's do that now. Finally, I'll stick a P in front of my parameter, which will help me avoid namespace collisions that can be hard to debug. In the ideal world, this will be almost automatic for you by now. So now we have to write the function. And this function is going to return true if team 1 wins and false if team 2 wins. So how are we going to do this? Well, if you've played old style games like Stratomatic Baseball, where there are certain possibilities and you roll some dice and something happens depending on what you roll, this might be familiar to you. Or maybe if you played Dungeons and Dragons, where if you roll a 1, you die, and a 20, you live, this might also be familiar to you. But if not, I'll go over it right now. These days, this kind of thing in 2K, FIFA, Madden, they're all determined behind the scenes with a random number generator, and I'll show you how that works now. So again, a P team 1 win percentage is going to be a number between 0 and 1. The higher it is, the more likely it is the team 1 wins. So what I'm going to do is to compare this number against a random number that I generate. So I'm going to randomly generate a number between 0 and 1. So let's do that now. If I want to make a random number, remember I have to always import random. This code will generate me a number between 1 and 100, and then I'll turn it into a decimal by dividing by 100. Next, I'll compare it to the winning percentage of team 1. So if my number is less than the winning percentage of team 1, that's going to be a win for team 1. And when team 1 wins, I return a true. And in the other scenario, I return a false. That means, and that should be it. But again, we need to test this out. So the way I'm going to test this out is to make a loop that runs many times. I'll test it 1,000 times. Remember, in Python, if I want to repeat, I'll do a for variable in range. And I'm going to count how many times I win. So my first scenario is going to be the case where team 1 always wins. So in that case, I'm going to call game with a winning percentage of 1. If result happens to be true, I'm going to add 1 to win. All right, so in this test, I'm expecting to win 1,000 times because team 1's winning percentage is 1. So let's see if this is true or not. It is not true, so I've made a mistake somewhere. And here you might have to think about it a little bit. And I think the case is right here. This actually needs to be less than or equal to, and not just a less than, because in the case where this is 1, so when the randomly generated number is 1, team 1 needs to win. And after we change the operator to less than or equal, team 1 wins every time, as expected. Now, if you remember what I've talked about, testing, you want to be able to test all the extremes. So I'm going to test the other extreme, where my winning percentage is 0. So let's test this out now. I expect to win 0 times. And exactly that's what happens. I win 0 times. This, by the way, is a pretty common mistake. The common mistakes here are this not being less than or equal to, and this right here. It needs to be between 1 and 100. So if my winning percentage is 0, I'll never win, rather than between 0 and 100. And so that's a common mistake. People sometimes will do between 0 and 100. Let's do this one more time, just as another test. I'm going to do a test where I expect to win most of the time. I'll clear it first and run it a few times. And as you see here, I win most of the time, but not every time. And not the same number of times each run, that is what I expect. So at this point, I feel good about my code. I'm going to remove my testing right here, clear my runs, and let's continue. All right, for step 2, we're going to create a function play finals. Again, this hopefully is almost automatic. Whenever we say create a function, def function name parentheses colon. So, and that's that. We have one parameter here. Remember, the parameters go inside the parentheses. This parameter is a float that represents a percentage chance that team 1 wins a game against team 2, anywhere from 0 to 1. If you're able to recognize it, this is basically the same exact quantity as the parameter I had before, so I will use the same name. So I'll copy and paste that in, and then I'm done with this part. In this one, there will be no return, but we do have an algorithm spelled out for you as to what you should do. So step A, you're going to use a while loop to keep on playing games until somebody wins the best of 7. So this is how these best of 7s work. We keep on playing games until somebody wins the best of 7, or in other words, until somebody wins 4 games. So you're going to use a while. And every so often here, my students will question me and they'll ask, Dr. Wu, when do I use a for and when do I use a while? Well, I use a for when I have an exact number of things I'm looping over. So I'm looping over a list, I'm looping over characters in a string, I'm looping a fixed number of times. For all of these things, I'll use a for. While is when I don't know exactly how many times I'm going to loop. I'm looping until something happens. So in this case, I don't know exactly when one of the teams is going to win 4 games, so I'll use a while. So back to the while. We're going to keep looping until one of the teams wins 4 games. And that's what a best of 7 is. So we'll need to keep track of how many games each team wins. So let's make 2 variables for that now. And they both start out at 0. So if you'll remember, with the whiles, we have a while, and then after that, we have a Boolean expression. And the stuff inside the while, or indented inside the while, will keep on running as long as that Boolean expression is true. So let's write this out. And if you did the while mini lab, this example is there already. We need the team 1 win total to be less than 4. And the team 2 win total to also be less than 4, which means we need the and. So there's our NBA finals right there. And now we need to play a game. And the instructions are telling you to play a game, we are going to call the game function. Up until now, I've always told you never to look outside the function. The function is a cult. You're not allowed to look outside the function. You only know what the elders tell you, which happen to be the parameters. But now I'm going to make one exception and say that you are allowed to look outside the function if you're calling another function. So we're going to call another function here. So if you remember, the way I call the function is function game in the parentheses. And then however many parameters I have, which here I have 1, I need to have that many arguments. So I'm going to send in the team 1 winning percentage, and that's calling the function. And because I have a return, I'm going to save it to a variable, so a result. So again, what I've done is variable is equal to the function with my argument that I'm sending into the function. And I'm saving that return to result. And now I have 2 scenarios. And remember, when I have multiple scenarios, I'm going to use an if and an else. So if result, that means if result is true, who wins? Team 1 wins. So that means their win total goes up by 1. And then you have a other scenario, which is team 2 winning. And there you go. Part C wants me to print out the winner of each game. So I will do that now. Oh, and it looks like it wants me to keep track of the number of games. So I will do that here. Game num equals to 0. So the game number will increase each iteration in my loop. So each time I'm looping through. So here I'm printing out the team 1 1. Here I'll print out the team 2 1. So now at this point, somebody won the best of 7 series. I can't quite tell who yet, but I could test for it. And remember, when I'm testing, I'm going to have that's right, an if. So what test do I run? Well, if team 1 has 4 wins, I know the team 1 won the series. So let's use that as our test. I'm checking to see if team 1 has 4 wins. And if that's so, I'm going to print out team 1 wins the finals. And if team 4 wins 4 games, then I'll print out team 2 wins the finals. And as always, when I write a function, if it's not tested, I should assume that it's broken. I have to test my function manually. So let's do that right now. I'm going to set up a testing loop just as I did before. So I'm running this 10 times. I should expect that team 1 wins every single time because the winning percentage for team 1 relative to team 2 is 100%. So let's try that out. If I scroll here, you'll see that team 1 always won the finals. And they won in sweeps, as I would expect. So let's try the other scenario where team 1 is expected to lose every single game. If I scroll up and scroll down, I will see that Team 2 wins every single time as I expect, and they win every single game. Now let's try where Team 1 wins most of the time. And here you see Team 1 happens to win all of the finals, but they don't win every game. And that's a reasonable outcome. And with that, I think we're done with this, and let's continue. Finally, for step 3, it wants me to ask the user for the winning percentage of Team 1 relative to Team 2. So if you remember the variables from before, that's basically the same as Team 1 win percentage. So to ask a question in Python, I'm going to use input and save it to a variable. So here's the variable I'm saving it to, Team 1 win percentage. And you remember, everything that comes out of input in Python is going to be a string. So to do math to it, or to compare it to math or numbers, I need to cast this to a float. Now, it wants me to call the playFinals function with this percentage, and I'm going to zoom over this quickly because we just did it. And inside the parentheses, I need to have one argument because this function, playFinals, has one parameter. And because this function does not have a return, I'm not going to save it to a variable. So let's try this out. And in this test, you see if I say the winning percentage of Team 1 relative to Team 2 is 1, I expect Team 1 to win every single game. And that's what I see in the run. I'll try this one more time. This time I'm going to say the winning percentage is 0 for Team 1. And when this happens, I'll expect Team 2 to win every single game. And that's what happens. And with that, I think we're done with the code. Finally, I want to talk a little bit about how you can modify this program to write other potential APCSP crate tasks. Now, you aren't allowed to use the exact same code, but this code could easily be modified to simulate a WNBA finals, which is a best of 5. You could also use the game function and modify this to write any game that uses spinners, for instance, hi-ho cheerio, by getting rid of the parameter and change this if to a whole bunch of if, elif, 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 elifs, where the random number is kind of like the randomness of the spinner. Or you could make the same concept to make an adventure game. That would be the same thing. Alright, so that's pretty much it. Hope that was useful to you. And if it was, please give this video a like and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you next time.